The umpires table. Right, we'll get into it. Look, thanks very much for everybody for the week. There's a lot of stuff to get through tonight, so we'll fire into it pretty much straight away. I want to thank, obviously, the board who've done a huge amount of work behind the scenes to kind of get these tournaments back up and running. Paul Anderson was put in charge of kind of doing provincials, so I'd like Paul Anderson to come up. So Paul was in charge of kind of putting all the packs together and doing everything. Did a fantastic job. We had a really good response. Fantastic to have. And look, I will single one team out here today, which we don't do often. But you know, the CD girl side that came this time, fantastic that they came and played. It makes a huge difference having more teams playing, and I know it was the first for a lot of you, and I hope that you'll carry on and keep it going and become stronger and stronger as you go. So well done. I'd also like to thank Vanessa, who organised the event in terms of this, and also coordinated with the centre. So thank you, Vanessa. Obviously, we wouldn't have a tournament without the centre itself, and normally we'd give them a trophy, but unfortunately no one could be here from there tonight. So in fact, we are going to give them the trophy. Paul would like to present it to Vanessa. And Fongy's going to take some photos because Fongy's all right. So for all those people that haven't met Fongy, Fongy's our official photographer for the weekend. I've just been reminded that everybody knows Fongy because he's got a shirt from every province. So thanks, Fongy, for doing the work. So I'm going to call up Mr. Paul Watson, who was the tournament director this weekend. Did a great job, and he's going to call out the umpires to come up and receive some awards. So, Mr. Paul Watson. One of the hard things to do, obviously, is without the sport, we don't. In this sport, we don't have a sport without the umpires, and it's an incredibly hard job to do. I tried it for a couple of games this weekend, just to give some others some breathers. But look, they do a fantastic job. It's, you know, most of them did 4 or 5 games a day, and it's pretty hard work up there with you guys yelling and screaming at them. So they did a fantastic job. So we'll call them up one at a time. Mr. Scott Fanzo. Jason Friesen. Aaron/Andrew. Catherine Winmore Farmer. And Finn Eithorn. All these guys are.
And Tony Watkins.
So one of the things in this tournament that we selected, so for those of you, this is one of our busiest years that we've had for indoor cricket. And it's an opportune time to actually talk about a tour that went in May earlier this year. In May, we took over the men's side to play in the New Zealand Asia Cup. And there was also a Masters side that was taken over to play in the New Zealand Asia Cup. Both those sides actually ended up winning, so congratulations to all the players that are here. It was a fabulous effort. You know, we played over in India, and it was a real experience. Very, very different to, very different. I'll give you a wee example of what happened on the first night we turned up. The first night we turned up, we had 38 rooms booked twin share. We ended up with maybe 15 rooms twin share, and the rest was sharing beds for 2 nights. So they became very, very cosy with each other during that time. So it was an interesting experience for everyone concerned. But it was a good tour to go on, and look, the guys did fantastically well. I think we played at one stage. I found the temperature inside the arena was 38 degrees that was played. So the guys did a fantastic job playing in that, and to win both events was fantastic. So well done, guys. We also took, and again in recognition of, because we are trying to create a lot of pathways for the sport, and umpiring is one of those pathways. So we also took Aaron Smythe over to that tournament, did a fantastic job representing New Zealand at the Aaron Smythe. Get it right. Andrew. Did a fantastic job over there. That moves me on to the next thing. For this tournament here, we selected 2 umpires to go away. So later in the year, we've got a couple of other tours. We've got the Junior World Series, which is happening in Dubai. Currently we have confirmed 30 teams are going to be competing in that, which is absolutely phenomenal, really, for the game. And fantastic in all the grades. Not only the boys' grade, but the girls' grade is also really well looked after. So I'd like you to put your hands together for Mr. Scott Van Syke. Who will be training as our umpire for the Junior World Series. About 2 weeks later, or a week and a half later, we are then going across to the Gold Coast to play the Masters Trans-Tasman. And we're taking 2 umpires across to that. These 2 umpires don't know they've been selected. So the 2 umpires that have been selected from this tournament today is Mr. Jason Swenson. And Katrina. So well done, guys. Fantastic effort. It really is. Fantastic effort. So we're now going to get into the prize giving now. We'll go through the different teams. And we're going to do this down here because it's my side's not as good as I thought it was. So we're going to do this down here. So I'm going to ask the 22 women's coaches to come up and award the trophies, and Mr. Paul Watson's going to hand out the different medals to hand out. So in the plate final, Auckland played Wellington. Auckland scored 67 and Wellington scored 22. So Auckland would like to come up and pick up the plates. You all good? So, Kim Scott and RJ. Kim Scott, Robert Jones. So the grand final. The grand final was played between Northern Districts and Canterbury. Northern Districts scored 85 and Canterbury winners with 99. So if I could get Northern Districts to come up but accept the runners-up medals, please. And the winners of the grand final, Canterbury. Right, so we've got the MVPs to hand out now. So from Canterbury, Meg Moffat. From Auckland, Caitlin Halliday. From Wellington, Bree James. From Northern Districts, Samara Akuria. From Central Districts, Sophia Bolton. And your overall MVP for the 22 women's this year, Meg Moffat. Thank you, ladies. So I'm going to get Mr. Paul Anderson and Sonny Chan to come to the stage. Sonny's not here, so Mr. Paul Anderson will do it for 22 minutes. So in the plate final, Southern District took on Central District. It was a tight game. In the end, 93 to 91. Southern District took it out. They were And in the grand final, Canterbury took on Wellington. Canterbury scored 39 and Wellington 72. So if Canterbury could come forward to collect their runners-up trophies, please. And your winners, Wellington Boys. Trophy pool. Well done, Wellington. Your MVPs for the 22 men's grade from Canterbury, Harry Bushman. From Wellington, Jack Gaskin. From Northern Districts, Ben Vaya. From Auckland, Liam Wheeler. From Central Districts, Jerome Robertson. And from Southern Districts, Sam Harper. And your overall MVP for the 22 men's, Jack Gaskin. So we'll head on to the women's division now, and I'm going to ask Dan Batley to come up and hand out his award. In the plate final, Wellington took on Canterbury. It was a close tussle. Wellington scored 74, Canterbury 82. So if Canterbury could come forward and collect their plate, please. In the grand final, we had a fantastic match, went right down to the wire. Northern Districts took on Auckland. Auckland scored 54, and Northern Districts 42. So if Northern Districts could come and pick up their runners-up medals, please. And your winners, Auckland. on, guys. Hang on. Well done, Auckland. Your MVPs from Canterbury, Tatiana Gibbs. From Auckland, Breezy Yelling. From Wellington, Ava Conroy. And from Northern Districts, Sky Bowden. And the overall MVP for the women's, Breezy Yelling. Mr. Kelly, Mr. Lee Kelly, the men's coach. So in the plate division, we had Northern Districts taking on Southern Districts. The score was 93 to 83 to Northern Districts. If they could come forward and collect their plate, please. In the final, Central Districts took on Wellington. CD scored 38 and Wellington scored 70, so our Central Districts could come forward and take the runners up to the medal. Good. And your winners, Wellington men. Your MVPs from Canterbury, Tom McDonald. From Auckland, Liam McAlpin. From Wellington, Francisco Schwartz. From Northern Districts, Michael Danowski. From Central Districts, Michael Meyer. And from Southern Districts, Caleb Mackay. And your overall MVP for the men's this year, Liam McAlpin. All right, guys. All right, guys, just for the hush. We've got a few more awards to get through. And the first award tonight is a very special award. It's a very special award that I'm going to ask Mr. Paul Herman to come up and speak about in just a minute, but and he'll give you a bit of context. But we've got a player of the final for the men's final, and I'll give the award. And Mr. Paul Anderson is going to introduce it.
New Zealand men's player number 55, Brian Herman. One of the fiercest competitors to ever take the court wearing the silver fern. Many of you will know that we lost Brian to his battle with mental health. So the Indoor Cricket New Zealand Board, in conjunction with the Herman family, have commissioned this beautiful trophy to be awarded annually to the Provincial Men's Player of the Final and named in Brian's honour. We're also very privileged to have New Zealand men's player number 65, Brian's brother Paul, here from Sydney to talk to you a bit about Brian and this award and present it to its first ever recipient. If you could all join me in welcoming Paul to the stage.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, mate. You need to bear with me, everyone. I'm a bit vulnerable tonight. Yeah, I almost didn't get up here. It's been a couple of years since my brother lost his battle with depression, and I'm still pretty raw today. The New Zealand Indoor Cricket Council, I'm absolutely humbled that you've created this award on behalf of Brian for the player of the final, and it's going to be presented every year from now on. And the fact that Brian's memory and, that he's going to be pretty sharp, that he's going to be able to, create awareness for mental health, depression, anxiety for our community, our cricket family for years to come. It is something for us all to create an environment that people can feel comfortable, can feel like they can reach out. There's a lot of talk around people reaching out and people speaking out, people talking and letting people know about what we're going through. And I think it's also important to also talk about everyone else that's supporting or loving or caring for someone with mental health, and for all of us to create an environment for people to be able to feel safe and feel vulnerable and actually speak out with no judgment, with no, just creating that environment for us to be able to reach out and speak. Brian battled for over 15 years. Sorry, just bear with me. He was a tough bastard, I tell you now, and for him to leave us, it must have been pretty bad. But the one thing I will say about Brian is that he tried everything. He tried everything. He tried so many different things. I won't go into details, but he tried everything, and then he just lost his battle with depression. And the fact that we've got this award now to create awareness, and for us as a indoor cricket community, as a family, what's done on the court is done on the court, but for us to all to come together and be there for each other, create an environment for us all to talk and for us all to embrace and love and just help each other out, I do want to make a special mention to Tony Chisholm. Tony Chisholm was a very good friend of Brian's for many years. Brian was actually one of his groomsmen, and Tony probably initiated this and instigated this by reaching out to the board and get this going. So I just wanted to. He's not here tonight, but I just wanted to make a special mention to Tony. Thanks, mate, for doing this. Brian seemed to have a knack for creating friendships no matter where he was around the world. He was well loved, and if only, I'm not too sure at the end if he actually felt the impact and the love that he actually had created around the world, and he
You got this, hear me?
I'll keep going. So thanks to the New Zealand board. Thanks to everyone here. Thanks for creating this award for us to create awareness for the future. Now, let's get on to Brian had many qualities, right? That I think this award for the player of the final, you know. Sorry, hang on. He was a passionate cricketer. He had a tough attitude. He was a hard worker. He led by example. He was a really good team man, and he had a sense of fun, and he just loved a good time. Now, with some of these traits and attributes that he had, I've taken those into looking at the final today and seeing who was applying some of these traits and attributes, but also who was bowled well, fielded well, and batted well. So I would like to now announce the player of the final. The first ever Brian Herman Memorial Trophy goes to Ryan Jackson.
On that note, we're going to take about a 5-minute break, get ready for the next part of the evening. We've got a few more awards to hand out, fantastic award to hand out there. So we'll take a 5-minute break, have a break outside. We'll be back in 5 minutes, and we've got about another 15, 20 minutes of awards.
No, I don't. Right, 2-minute warning, 2-minute warning.
Rightio, let's go. Take a seat, please. Take a seat, everybody. I'll give you a few tips. Righto. Righto, guys. We're going to get on with it. We've got a few more things to get through. There's a couple of really special awards to hand out shortly. It's been a big night already, I know, but if you could just bear with us for a little bit longer, we will get through these last few awards and you can head into your drinking after that. Yeah, the bar's going to close any second. Come on, guys. So we're going to start off with, and I'm going to ask Mr. Robin James and Dan Batley to come up on stage. One of the things that has happened over the last year, which the WICF realised they haven't done particularly well, is putting tours together for the women's grades. And we have really struggled to get the other countries to buy into this. And it's really important for the women's game. And you see with our 22s here with 5 teams here this week and our women's grade, it's fantastic to see the depth that we've got. Later on, we're going to be handing out some test caps to people that have reached 50 caps, which is an amazing achievement. But one of the things that the board has put together and spoken about quite at length is that we're not... Oh, thank you. One of the things that we've spoken at length is that we need to give opportunities for the women in our sport, and it's really important for us to do that. So the trip to Dubai was cancelled after Australia cancelled the test series over there. So we have now got a 5 test series with the New Zealand women's side going across to Australia to play in October after the juniors, which is absolutely fantastic, and we're really rapt that it's come together. So your coaches for this, the 2 gentlemen standing up here, Mr. Robin James and Dan Batley. The manager for this team is, and she's not here tonight, is Leah Brow. So she will be the manager for the team going across. So if I could get these ladies, if they're here, to come up and join the team, and they'll have a chat afterwards and just sort out some bits and pieces that need to be sorted out before we go away. So in no particular order, your first women's player for 2023. Brooke James, Auckland. Anita Epperling from Wellington. Saffron Wilson from Canterbury. Marlborough Downs, Northern District. Aria Mastrisky from Northern District. Claire Crooks, Auckland. Tatiana Gibbs, Canberra. Carol Afrihi, Auckland. Antonia Hamilton, Wellington. Zara Jitley, Wellington. Katie Morris, Canberra. And a non-travelling reserve, if she could come up as well, Hannah Kells, Wellington. Congratulations, ladies, and best of luck over in Australia. So one of the things that the New Zealand board started, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, was a real recognition amongst players, coaches and managers in a way to kind of grow the sport and recognise the players that have had some long service in the sport. One of the things that happens now in all our touring parties is any New Zealand and women's player that has represented the country all have a number. And that number will be below their playing shirt, whatever their New Zealand number is. And it's pretty special to have that when you're playing through the grades, to have that number for pretty much the rest of your life. Currently, the men's have, I think, 114, and the women 110 that have played for New Zealand. So it's a pretty small bunch of people that have played for New Zealand throughout the time. So one of the things that we started recognising was people that have played 50 tests. So we have 2 caps that we hand out. The first cap is a 50 test cap, which we've handed 4 of these out now for New Zealand players that have represented New Zealand in either the men's and played 50 or the women's and played 50 tests. So we currently have 4 of these that have been handed out. And I'm going to ask those 4 to come up now because I think they're mostly here. Mr. Lee Kelly was the first to receive it. We have the second person to receive it, which is a pretty monumental time for him. Tonight and today was his last time that he's going to play in the Provincials. He's played in over 20 Provincials. He's had an amazing career. He's played for New Zealand, I think, 54 times in the men's side. Has a black cap and is very much part of the history of New Zealand indoor cricket. Mr. Bryce Fellows. The third person that received the black cap did it for coaching and was mainly coaching with the New Zealand sides. Mr. Paul Bottrell. Yeah, boy. The second cap that we hand out is what we call a grey cap, which is the black and white cap. The black and white cap represents 50 tests as well, but the black and white cap represents tests that have been done in juniors, masters, men's, women's, all of the grades. It's been hard to track these all the way through, and we have a better system in place now, and we are really trying to work on tracking these, which is really important that we do it moving forward. We have handed out, I think, 7 of these so far, and so my memory doesn't hurt me. I'm going to bring it up on the screen because it's a bit easier that way. So if I could ask these people to join me as well, Mr. Robin James, Robbie Hyman, Paul Anderson, Joe Costa, Nathan Daly, Steve Hart, Sonny Chan, Peter Notman, Catherine Smith. So tonight's a pretty special night for me. I started playing indoor cricket, I think I was 15 at the time, and one of my first coaches and managers is going to be receiving this cap tonight. And he's been in the game a very, very long time. He is a tireless administrator. He has done an amazing amount of work for the game. Mr. Warwick Simmons. The next 50s cap, and we've got a few to get through tonight, but these are all pretty special caps. So the next one I'm going to ask Mr. Lee Kelly to come and speak a few words about this.
I just want to start by saying a big thank you to Mr. Tony and the board. The initiative to recognise people for their achievements in this way is really special, and it's a great initiative. So thank you, Tony and board. Tonight we recognise a true gentleman and champion of our sport. He is recognised as New Zealand men's player number 6, part of the 85 side that played Australia. He captained the 89 side that was the first side to win a test series against Australia. Considered by most to be the best captain New Zealand men have produced. I was fortunate enough fortunate enough to play under him in my first test for New Zealand. After his playing career, he then took over as New Zealand men's coach for a World Cup cycle. He has been a massive support to the women's game, and it would be remiss of me not to mention his massive contribution to the junior game. I don't think there is a player coming through in the last 20 years of Wellington that hasn't been influenced by this man and his junior programs. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we recognise Robbie Kerr.
It seems kind of fitting going from one Kelly to another, so I'm going to ask Sean Kelly to come up and present the next cap.
Kia ora. It's a little bit intimidating being up here with such a long line of fine gentlemen, but as a 48 test cap coach, I'll get there. So it's pretty nervous, arguably the most important and prestigious thing I've ever had to do to give out this cap, so bear with me. I met this person at the greatest indoor sports centre ever, Valley Indoor Sports, when I was a very small man. And they immediately looked after me as I was tearing my way through the World Series system. And so obviously it was very, very, well, I was very excited anyway, and a few years later when I found out this person started dating my brother. I was lucky enough to see this person play for New Zealand in 2000 and 2002. I was on the 2000 tour when she was proposed to by my brother. I was also really lucky to have a chance to work with her post as a junior. A huge investment in our game. We've been on committees together and share a real passion for the juniors, but probably also luckiest most actually got the chance to coach her as my captain for Wellington a few years ago. This person has 8 Premier caps across 2000, 2002, 2003, 13 Masters caps across 2008 and 2010, including one of the greatest partnerships in World Cup final history. 32 management caps across 2012, 2014, 2015 and 2017, and as mentioned, a World Cup winner in 2008. This cap goes to Vanessa Chatfield.
Congratulations, Vanessa. For the next 50 cap player, I'm going to ask Mr. Warwick Simmons to come and talk a little bit about this player. He started back with him, and he'll tell you a little bit about him.
Thank you, Tony. And ladies and gentlemen, as Lee said, this is a great initiative by the New Zealand board, and it's a pleasure to be part of this announcement tonight. The player first up that I will be dedicating the next cap to came across and played in the 2008 New Zealand under-19 side in the Trans-Tasman versus Australia. He then went on to be selected in 2009 for the New Zealand men's side and has continued to be in the New Zealand men's side from that year on whilst he was available. He also, in 2012, took the first junior under-16 side for South Africa and won the World Cup, beating Australia in the final. He then did the 2015 side and then was victorious again in 2018 when we beat South Africa in the under-18 boys final. The person I'm talking about tonight and deserves every accolade that comes his way is Nicholas Ward.
As you can see, and I think we talked about this a little bit earlier, we are really trying to build the women's game, and so it's really a great pleasure to ask Kim Scott to award the next black cap. So if Kim Scott could come up and make the next announcement, please.
Still got it.
Because it's UK actually. So thanks everyone. The person I'd like to introduce tonight is someone that started playing at the age of 15. Oh, sorry, in high school. Sorry. Everyone's healed. At age 15, debuted for Christchurch at the age of 16. It moved to Auckland in 2001. They debuted for New Zealand in 2002 at the Wellington World Cup here in New Zealand. This person has played 30 tests for Premier Women and that has spanned 3 World Cups and 4 Trans-Tasmans across their career, and is still one of the best produced New Zealand keepers and spin bowlers that we have ever produced. This person has played 8 Masters games in 2010 in Australia, in my team actually, which was really cool, and is in the current New Zealand over 30s preliminary squad to take on Australia later this year, which will be named tomorrow. This person has also been involved in coaching in our New Zealand teams in 2017 in Dubai, Christchurch 2018 and Palmerston North 2019, totaling 25 coaching tests, totaling 63 test caps. It's my absolute pleasure to ask Jess Ramage.
Thank you. Our next recipient, and we've got 3 to go, guys, so it's not going to take long, guys. We've got 3 to go. So our next recipient, I'm going to ask another board member who's been a big part of this person's career to come up and talk a little bit about him. So I'd like to ask Mr. Ben Peters to come up and talk.
Thanks, Tony. I don't quite have all the numbers that everybody else has, not knowing that I was going to get given those, but I'm really proud to speak about this guy. He's, first and foremost, he's a mate, but he's a bloody unbelievable indoor cricketer. He was first part of the New Zealand squad set up in 2002, made his debut in 2005, has played in at least 2 World Cups, maybe 3, has co-captained a Masters side to a World Championship. He is a world champion. He is a bloody good bloke. I've been proud to have him with us this weekend, Darren Crook.
Two to go, guys, 2 to go. I'm going to ask Mr. Warwick Simmons again to come forward and talk about this player, because again, he's been a huge part of this player's development. Growing up in the sports, I'll ask Mr. Warwick Simmons to come forward and talk about the second player that we talked about.
Thanks, man. It's interesting, isn't it? We get thrown these little jobs to do at the last minute. So again, I'm sorry if I'm not too well prepared, but this young gentleman came to us, I would guess, let's say 2002, 2003, playing junior indoor cricket in our World Series on Friday nights. And from that moment on, you could see that this particular player was going to go a long way in the game. And he's become a good sportsman. He's played for New Zealand for a number of years. And he's part of a bit of a dynasty, to be fair, because his father and his brother, his uncle, have also played for New Zealand and umpired. So the player that I'm talking about now is another central player. Well done. And that is Stacey Hyman.
So listen, just so we're all prepared, we've got 3 more awards to do tonight, and we're going to try and get through them in a good amount of time. We've got 1 more 50 cap to present. We also have 5 others that we know have reached this mark. Some of them will be awarded at the Trans-Tasman Masters, because that's where they're at. We try and do these awards at the Provincials because we see this as our premier event. We think these people should be recognised at this event. So we really do try and do as many of them as we can here. The ones that we can't will be done at these other events, and we will let you know who those people are in due course. But for the last player to receive their 50 cap tonight, I'll ask Mr. Paul Anderson to come forward and talk about it.
Right, final cap recipient tonight, one of Palmerston North's favourite sons. A man who bleeds blue, or this weekend oozes green. Rob Sherry first pulled on the black shirt for the New Zealand under-19s in 2003 in Christchurch. From there, Rob was selected to debut for the men's 2007 World Cup held in Bristol, United Kingdom. He'll gladly tell you about his test stumping on that tour, just make sure he buys you a beer first. For his next tour, Rob travelled to Johannesburg as a member of the men's side to compete in the 2011 World Cup. In 2014, when New Zealand hosted the World Cup right here at Hutt Indoor Sports, Rob was selected to captain the New Zealand A side, whom he helped take some major scalps and made it through to the semi-finals. In 2017, Rob was also a member of the men's side that travelled to Dubai for the World Cup, with that side claiming a silver medal. In 2019, Rob travelled to Cape Town to compete in his first over 35s Masters event. Rob played a major part in helping that side claim New Zealand's first gold medal in that division, and he actually played the most games on that tour. After COVID destroyed a trip to Singapore and India, Rob joined my New Zealand combined Masters team to travel to India this year to contest in the New Zealand Asia Cup. Rob not only captained a mixed Masters team with a vast mix of experience, but also a mix of ages from 38 to 55. Rob led that team to a gold medal win, while also playing another couple of men's tests on the same tour as injury replacement for Curtis Millard, who withdrew from injury shortly before the teams left. All of you who know Rob know how much passion and pride he has in playing this great game for his club, his province, and especially his country. And I'm honoured tonight to be the one to welcome him to the 50 Test Club.
Right, we've got two more awards to hand out. We've got two very special awards to hand out. The first one has a little bit of synergy with what happened tonight, so I'm going to ask Mr. Robbie Kerr to come up and talk a little bit about this gentleman.
Thank you, Watto. What a privilege it is to be here tonight, and it's just reminded me what a wonderful sport we have and what a wonderful community we're a part of. It's been a long prize giving, but if I could encourage you to just hang tough for another quarter of an hour, there's a couple more awards and they're worth recognising. I've had an amazing day today. I came to watch some quality indoor cricket. Guy Coleman and the Auckland women's team, you guys were special. Well done. I got to watch my nephew captain the Wellington side in two spectacular performances to win the national titles. I love New Zealand indoor cricket and I love Wellington indoor cricket. Titles are great, but the best thing about the sport is the friendships and the memories you create. And I got to watch the men's final tonight, standing and yarning next to Warwick Simmons, who was very kindly selected me for the New Zealand side in 1985. And for those of you that are trying to work the numbers out, that was 38 years ago. So I used to wicket keep with 2 gloves on, and Warwick picked me for that reason. So thank you, Warwick. What you've done for the sport and your passions for the sport's unbelievable. And I also got to have a chat to the great Gary Gardner, whose 3 sons are playing in the tournament, and he's a top man, and he was my first New Zealand indoor cricket captain. So it's a special day, and then to come to a prize giving like tonight and see people recognising and honouring performances of such note, it's wonderful. And I didn't know about my 50th cap, and I'm very honoured by it. So thank you all. I wasn't asked to do any of that, but so I better get cracking. It's my absolute honour to be asked to recognise and speak to a milestone achievement from an indoor cricketer who is revered throughout New Zealand, but also revered throughout the indoor cricket world. Tonight we're recognising the first player to reach the monumental milestone of representing his country 100 times. I won't call him to the stage just yet because there's a little bit to work through. But ladies and gentlemen, I think you could put your hands together for Lee Kelly, 100 caps. Lee's a humble man, but we're going to talk about you for a little while, Lee. And Watto has got a little couple of videos for you to enjoy. Just talk quietly amongst yourselves while Watto gets this organised.
Yeah, it's good. Keep training.
Come on, Warren.
My information will bring it with Brett is mostly fun. Just don't talk to him before, during, or after the game. So you look at him before he's going after that. If you want to summarise Brett really quickly, you would say that he's very intense. He loves a Heineken. He's had the same haircut since he was at primary school. A lot of people won't realise that Brett actually came out of retirement recently to fill in for a Super League team that was short. After 9 years out of the game, he rocked up on short notice and he took out the MVP for the game. I'm very proud of what Brad's achieved, and I'm proud to call him a best mate. Well done, Brad. Congratulations.
Congratulations on 100 tests as a player and as a coach. An incredible milestone, and I just think that epitomises who you are. You're an absolute legend of the game, legend of New Zealand and cricket. And I know how passionate you are about our sport, but I also wanted to say we are so thankful and grateful for your service to this amazing sport that we all love. Shout out to Chats for allowing you to be away from home for so long. Thank you, congratulations once again, and I now know that if you ask for a 10-minute phone call, it's probably going to be about 2 hours.
Congratulations on your amazing achievement. Just wanted to share with my gratitude for the opportunity your success has given me, from being mascot for the greatest ever club side to anywhere in New Zealand, to travelling the world to watch you, and getting older and being coached by you, playing with you, captained by you, and then probably most recently coaching alongside you. And I guess this achievement is testament to a lot of things, but the thing that I think I like and respect most about you is that you are a lifelong learner, and not a lot of people that have had your success and experience ask others for their advice, but you're still quite happy to go to anyone to find out a little bit more and get a little bit better, including occasionally asking me my thoughts. Got a lot of respect for that kind of attitude. So, congratulations, and look forward to having a great time. Cheers.
I think it's fantastic that your contribution to New Zealand cricket is getting called out and acknowledged like this. I personally just want to take the opportunity to thank you for all that you've given to our sport, and in particular the time you've invested into me. I know that I would not have many of the skills I have today, whether it's general cricketing skills or coaching skills, analytical skills. If you hadn't spent the time developing me. And the crazy thing is, I know I'm just one of many individuals who have done this for, doing this for. We are very lucky to have somebody like you in our community. So once again, just thank you for all that you've done and continue to do. Cheers.
Oh, you're fucking ratty.
Congratulations, mate.
Back off, ratty.
It's been an incredible, feels like a lifetime now, but really, because I'm such a baby and you're such an old bastard, it's been a good 15 years that we've sort of known each other. But from playing together, you were on the court in my first test, to coaching together, and that is something that I miss more than you could even know. You are an incredible human being. Your passion for the sport is just unrivaled. Here's to many more, and I hope to see you real soon, man. It's an impressive achievement. It's one that by the time you finish up in I'm sure. I hope you have an awesome one, and see you soon.
Oh, here he is.
Any type of cricket for any reason. I'm not sure that 25 years ago I would have believed that Ricky Kelly might New Zealand man against South Africa and let a game needed to win in the 98 World Cup final. That what would follow was for him to play for captain and coach New Zealand men over 90 games to lead us to our first multi-nation tournament victories of the Australian Cup in Singapore and India. For him to captain our Masters team to the first Masters World Cup victory and to coach our junior side as well. All in all, around 130 appearances, one excellent achievement. So, yeah, congratulations to you for your 100 games for New Zealand in the cricket sides. It's been a great pleasure to be part of the journey and to watch you. And a lot of admiration even this weekend, New Zealand side being picked with you to take the edge away now, have a quiet weekend. And Steve, that way, what we're doing, Coach Wellington, got involved, just like you did for the Valley Super League Cup, for the Valley League, for the Wellington Super League. Throughout those 25 years, the contribution at all levels has been amazing. I want to particularly congratulate you on your 100 caps, mate. It's an absolute first for New Zealand. I'm so thrilled that you've got there. I really look forward to the next 100 games and the successes that you will help bring to New Zealand in the cricket. Enjoy the night, mate. It's dedicated career and special for you. We might of it. It's great to be here to watch you receive it. And I wish you all the best for the future. Cheers, mate.
Morning, Brad County. How good, mate. 100 times representing your country and the first player to do so. An amazing achievement. This is a testament to your loyalty, commitment, passion, and love for our beautiful game. I was lucky enough to play alongside you in your first test match back in 1998 in Melbourne. Our game was in great hands and you have certainly raised the bar. Congratulations, bro. Love you heaps.
Nice one, guys.
Now we've got a little bit to go, so you might get about 4 standing ovations during this presentation, Lee, which is also a record. Actually, just before I carry on, can I just say, Paul Herman, you spoke magnificently. Did anyone video that? It's been videoed. That was so special. It meant a lot to me, and gee, Mike King would love to get a copy of that, mate. What you said was magnificent. I think we need another standing ovation. As I said earlier, we've got an outstanding indoor cricket community. When I think of Lee, the first thing I think of is the Kelly family. Most of you will have heard about the Valley Indoor Sports Dynasty, and some of you were part of it. Graham and Maria here tonight. You created something that was so special for indoor cricketers playing at that centre, and so many of them went on to great things, and so many of them are lifelong friends. They're going to each other's birthdays, weddings, christenings, you name it. And the Kelly family, absolutely magnificent. So certainly that's the first thing that I recall. Sean, you're a world champion, mate. So you're a significant part of the family, and it's also great, obviously, to see Ness here tonight. For those of you that have partners, do you think you'd get away with playing 100 tests for your country? And I was actually talking to Ness tonight. She said, I'd try and give Lee a bit of space about a week before any international series or tour. And I was thinking, geez, that's unusual. You normally, got to suffer for that week before you head away. So Lee, you hit the jackpot there. Ness, well done on your cap and well done on your support for Lee. Just wonderful. Lee, I remember your New Zealand debut. A couple of people mentioned it. It was 1998, the World Cup. I was honoured to be the captain of the New Zealand side at that World Cup. And I remember you and Ian O'Brien at the Provincial Champs. You weren't going to make the team, I don't think. Bots was the coach, so I don't really know. But you guys just seemed to whack 50 every single game of the tournament. And the door was knocked down, and you and Obba made the side. And we went to Melbourne. We played in the 1998 World Cup, and we lost the final to Australia. Arguably the best Australian side. They certainly were the best Australian side I ever played against. But I remember coming away from that tour. Bots did a great review afterwards. I was asked for my thoughts, and what my thoughts were on Lee is that he had a really good skill set. He wasn't a world-class player, but he had a really good skill set. But what he had was an absolute desire to learn and to get better. And he wanted to be in the fight, and he wanted the tough situations. And when you come up on your debut tour and you're playing Dion Muir and a number of other great players, you got found out if you weren't mentally tough, and you had that, Lee. And I knew at that point there was a career about to unfold. And then I remember the 2002 World Cup. I had retired after the 98 World Cup, but myself and Bots were co-coaches of the New Zealand side for the home World Cup in Wellington 2002. And we made the decision to appoint Lee as captain of the New Zealand side. This first time he was the captain of New Zealand. And I'm trying to think why. And one of the reasons was he had forced his way into being a very good top 8 player. But the real reason he was appointed captain was he had the ability to control games that you very rarely see. And he was just manoeuvring the chess pieces around the board, and he would find a way to win games. And he's done this for, well, that was 25 years ago, and mate, you're still doing it today. And there was a whole lot of other people involved in today's win, but you know how to win games of indoor cricket. So it's no wonder you've led your country for so many years, and as a player, captain and coach. I talked about mental toughness just before, and I'll keep things moving, but I don't think your mental toughness gets found out in any more difficult situation than playing a World Cup final, and this happened in 2013 at the over 30s World Cup final, New Zealand versus Australia. 1 over to go. Lee Kelly's batting with Ian O'Brien. Things are going well, but we're still chasing runs in the last over, and there's a bloody power cut. And that's tough. That is really tough. The lights are out, players leave the court, and you've got a bit of time to dwell on how you're going to get that last handful of runs. Anyway, I did ask Steve Hart about that occasion, and he said to me there would be no other player that you'd want out there other than Lee Kelly, and he said he felt quite calm. I called bullshit. You can't be calm. World Cup final, 5 runs needed, the lights have gone out. But Lee he had a couple of crunch twos, a couple of great calls, and the game went New Zealand's way, and Lee was a World Cup champion along with the rest of the side for the first time. So that must have been a very special moment for you, Lee. I always struggle to not feel the need to deliver a message, so I'm quickly going to do something. I love the fact about Lee that he prepared well for whatever he was going into as a player, as a coach. He prepares well, and he's always got this desire to get better. He's the legend of New Zealand cricket. He's had 100 games, and he wants to get better. And I think as an indoor cricket player, umpire, coach, manager, whatever you're doing, I'm sure you can all get better, and I'm sure if you searched as hard as Lee does to prepare well and get better, that you would see some great results. So that's a little message there. It's not just the captaincy, it's not just the coaching that makes Lee so special. He is leaving a legacy on the sport. I've recently been added to a New Zealand past and current players a messenger group. So I'm learning about messenger groups. I try to stay away, but I can't help myself. I love hearing from New Zealand players, and I think it's wonderful. Lee's got very involved with the history of New Zealand men's indoor cricket, and other people have as well. But Lee, as the head of our sport and the New Zealand coach, is driving that, and I really admire that. So thank you, Lee. I love that. And I guess the last point that quickly comes to mind with Lee, and we're nearly there, but it's the haka, and we've seen one tonight. Lee, as captain, always led the haka for New Zealand, and it was full of passion, emotion, and it was just spine-tingling stuff. So to see that was very special. But it didn't end there for Lee. You contacted Corey Todd, a great man, and initiated a New Zealand indoor cricket haka to be written that tells our indoor cricket story. And the haka was written, actions were created, and how special is that to have on your indoor cricket CV, Lee. You don't achieve all these things in 5, 10, 15 years. this has taken you 25 years. If you account for your 100 odd tests, Nessa's 50 odd tests, they're probably worth about 5k each. You'd be a very wealthy couple if you didn't play indoor cricket. But yeah, this is priceless. 100 caps for New Zealand. You're creating a wonderful legacy. It's still going, and I do want to congratulate you. New Zealand indoor cricket have a special gift for you, which I think someone's going to come up and find. So I know you will cherish that. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please be upstanding as I invite the Centurion Lee Kelly to the stage.
All right, last one I promised tonight. The last one, and it's a pretty special one. That's an amazing achievement from Lee Kelly. One of the things, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, was the board really felt it was important that we recognise both players, managers, coaches, everybody that we can. And one of the initiatives that we've started, and it's starting tonight, and it's a really special thing that we're starting tonight, is our first Hall of Fame inductee. And it's a really special award. We took a long time to decide how we would do it and what we would do. The board spent a quite considerable amount of time on it. So I'm going to ask all of the board to come up tonight and be up here tonight when we award the person. So if I could ask all of the New Zealand Indoor Cricket Board to come up on the stage, please. So without these guys, and these guys do countless hours, and there is countless hours of work that these guys do behind the scenes that often doesn't get recognised. And I know how hard they all work, and I know they make sacrifices to do the stuff that they do. So I really appreciate what you guys do, and I'm sure that you all appreciate what they do. Otherwise, we wouldn't have tournaments like this. So thank you guys from everybody. So our first Hall of Fame inductee, he's been up on the stage already tonight. He received his 50th cap tonight. He has done an amazing amount for the sport. He's been the chairman of Indoor Cricket New Zealand. He served on the WICF. He owns a centre. He has really put himself out there for the sport and done an amazing thing with right through from juniors to masters to the men's game. Whenever we ask him to do something, or whenever we ask him to host or do anything, he's always willing to do it. He's an amazing guy, and for me, it's a really special time to ask Mr. Warwick Simmons to come forward. So while we've got Warwick up here, we actually have a couple of videos that we're going to play. All right, guys, bye.
They work Hall of Fame inductee. There's a great ring to it. Been involved thoroughly all levels of the game. Great ambassador for the sport and to under 17 gold medals in the pocket. Absolute champion of the game. Never met someone who was better at bringing a group of blokes together and creating a real team environment. And I guess signing off from Nick and myself, let's get the dream team back together. Hope you're doing well,
Hey, I just wanted to congratulate you on becoming the first official member of the Hall of Fame for Indoor Cricket New Zealand. I think so, you deserve, you're an absolute legend. Thank you for everything that you've done for myself and all of us boys at Central. I know a lot of us owe a lot to you, and we're very grateful and we love having you around. So thank you very much for everything and enjoy your evening.
Congratulations. I can't imagine anyone more deserving than you to be the first inductee of the New Zealand Cricket Hall of Fame. Everything you've done for the sport, everything you've done for Central, everything you've done for myself personally, I wouldn't be in love with this sport as much as I am if it wasn't for you. All the hard work you've done behind the scenes, your cheeky smile, the amount of times you've blown your lid, but all of that encompasses your passion and your relentless improvement that you want to see in the sport. So thank you so much. Congratulations once again.
So my guys here, congratulations on the induction to the Hall of Fame. It's a great honour. You're the long way more than one. Back to the playing and coaching days, how great all around, gathering here from Bella, etc. A lot of great memories there. One thing that stands out on my mind, mate, was our trip to South Africa in 1996 in Australia. Not only were you managing 3 teams in a touring party, but in a difficult country in the tour, especially with the health system, your leadership was outstanding. Professionalism, communication, and ingenuity. It was a pleasure and a whole lot of memories for me. The only thing I would say negative about it, man, is you took great men, of course.
You just fighting that question. He said you just fighting that question.
Wow, Mr. Lawrence Clifford Simmons.
Here he is. Here he is.
And massive congratulations into your induction tonight, sir. There's a lot of good people who've done a lot of good things for our sport, and you, sir, are certainly one of them. So congratulations, sorry I couldn't be here tonight. Everybody, have a good night.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate, I know tonight's taken a little bit longer than we normally would at these things. Congratulations to all the winners, and congratulations to everyone that came, really. It's been a fantastic tournament, well run from the officials, and tonight's been fantastic. I think, for me, I've taken a lot out of it, and I hope you have as well. Travel safe home, and really look forward to catching up with all of you at the next event. Thanks, guys.